need to do, I start every one of my panels the same way with what I like to call the Comedy Pledge of Allegiance. So I need everybody to please rise. Thank you. Left hand, right titty. Hello, baby. This is not appropriate for you. Baby is the one age group where I know it's not appropriate. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance.
To comedy.
To comedy.
Ha 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 ha. Ha tee hee ha ha, giggle giggle snort.
Tee hee ha ha, giggle giggle snort.
I also pledge my undying alliance.
I also pledge my undying alliance.
To the patron saint of comedy.
To the patron saint of comedy.
Garfield.
Garfield.
I hate Mondays.
I hate Mondays.
Won't somebody please shut that baby up?
Won't somebody please shut that baby up?
Amen.
Amen.
Who wants to be my sidekick of the day? Okay. How about you? You? You want to come up here? What is your name? Manny.
Hi, Manny. Good evening, my friend.
I'm going to call you Scary Gary, the child murderer. Does that sound?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to say one thing for me.
All right, yeah.
Say.
One thing.
You want me to say I can be beaten? I want you to say, you are correct, sir.
All right. You're correct, sir.
That's the only thing you need to know. So sit down, and that's all you're going to have to say. Okay. Yeah, you're already doing great. Okay, I'm going to give out some prizes. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to have a sound-alike contest. Who thinks they can do the best murder shy or Albert shy?
Where's the hand?
Okay, you, stand up. Let's hear what you got.
Hey, hey, hey.
You give up? You don't want to continue?
I want to continue, but
No, you can continue. We're gonna stop you. Let's see what you got.
bad.
Stay out of my shed.
What do you think? What do you think? Totally not applicable to what I You.
Hey, stay out of my shed.
Okay, you're the front runner. You.
Hey, stay out of my shed.
Sit down.
Hey, I told you to stay out of my shed.
Sit down.
Hey, stay out of my shed.
Anyone else? You. Can you see who I'm pointing to?
Right here?
Yeah, you.
What did I tell y'all about coming into my shed?
Okay, sit down. We're gonna try one more. Who was our preliminary? You? Okay, we're gonna try one more. Anyone else? Anyone else? No one's gonna challenge you? You?
Hey, stay out of my shed.
Okay, you win. How you doing, friend? Shake my hand. In order for you to know what your prize is, all you have to do is look around you.
It's friendship.
Look around you. My friend, look around you on DVD. You guys, it's so great to be here today. The next game that we're going to play requires somebody from the audience. Is there anyone here who is experienced in the art of piercing? You? Get up here.
Oh boy.
We talked earlier. Here. You want to, what is your name?
Taylor.
Now, I was impressed when you told me this earlier. What is your gauge that you have there?
2.
He has a 2 in his septum. That's incredible. This is a 14, right there.
That's a lot.
You have one?
Oh, this guy. Oh, wow.
How would you like to give me a piercing right now?
I'd love to, actually.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Hold on.
My experience doing piercings? In no kind of sanitary or professional way whatsoever. Is this? I'm from Canada. I don't want to go to jail. I did my nostrils a couple times. It's not something I would do. I pierced my ears before. I've done my nostrils on my ears. I did my lip once. On myself. The ears is the only thing you can really do.
Do my ear.
Do it!
You're drunk?
No.
Make it better.
What do you mean I'm not piercing? Yes, they are.
Can staff approve this first? So I don't...
I'm approving it right now. I was hoping that you could do eyebrows. Can anyone here do eyebrows? Eyebrows? I know, but I want to know. What sport? Your hands are fine. You can do eyebrows?
He can or will?
Will you do eyebrows?
No.
Do
Have
it!
you done eyebrows?
Together.
No, I haven't done anything.
Okay, then why am I talking to you?
This is the worst.
How do you feel right now? Why?
I just want to make sure I'm not going to get kicked out of the con.
And why would you get kicked out of the con? I'm telling you.
Don't be afraid.
Okay, I'm starting to get bored.
Can I confirm with somebody on staff that I'm not gonna?
No one cares.
Do it!
If you're gonna do my earlobe, I'm just gonna take it out anyway because
That's true.
that's fruity. Can you do cartilage? Okay, we'll do earlobe. Can you get that water? Can I do that?
Make sure you don't hit an artery.
Stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, go for it. Oh dear God, the pain. That's not the gay ear, is it? Oh, for God's sake.
Gotta do both now.
Not again. Is this part of
Hearing.
What do you think, everybody? Mega 64 version 2. You want that one? What's your name again? Taylor. Taylor, everybody.
No, this season.
You make me gay?
Sorry.
Okay, we really sorry. Quite a few prizes in here. Next, we're going to do a joke contest. I've made all of you people laugh with my hilarious cartoons. Now it's your turn to make me laugh. Your rules are, it can be as dirty as you want, but it has to be under 10 seconds. Who thinks they can make me laugh?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Let's hear it.
Alright. So quadriplegic walks into a bar.
Like it so far. Oh, that's it? I get it. I love it, but I'm not in love with it. You. Yeah, you.
Gay jokes aren't funny, but fuck it.
Excuse me?
Gay jokes aren't funny, but fuck it.
I can't hear a word you're saying. Okay, can somebody a little louder go? Anybody? You.
Never make fun of fat people. They have enough on their plate.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. You.
Come on, guys. Gay jokes aren't funny.
Oh, you just...
I don't understand the premise of that one. Of course they are. Who else? Come on, you guys. You.
What do you call a Mexican autistic kid with no arms, no legs? Names.
Why would you do that? You.
What do you tell a sadistic bestialis necrophiliac?
Are these all just going to be shock jokes?
You're beating a dead horse.
What's your name?
Emil.
Emil. You get Skyrim. This was supposed to be a PG, but they're also not streaming it, so I don't know who cares. Okay. Yeah, what's the deal with that baby? Does he not like it or something?
Who brings a kid to a My Little Pony convention?
That's good. Where were you 30 seconds ago? The next prize that I'm going to give away is the best prize that I have to give away, and because of which, baby's gone. Because of which, the contest that I'm about to deliver unto you people is one that is extremely difficult. It will take all of your intelligence, cunning, and dexterity.
We're fucked.
Who can put their hand up? First go. You. Get up here. So. Nice to meet a fellow tall man. Do you hate it as much as I do? Yeah. You get, these other guys, they got DVDs, video games. You get something that is deeply rooted in the very grounds of the foundation of the Pony.move series itself. Not my soul. Tampons. they're yours. You can share them, I don't care. Check my itinerary real quick. Okay. Now I have a friend. His name is Spikey Wikey. Spike Dragonowitz, and I asked him, would you like to do a live broadcast to my friends at Everfree Northwest? And he said, come on, they're not your friends. And I said, of course not. They're creepy weirdos. And then I said, well, you don't have a choice, I'm making you. So, without further ado, let's, as they say, roll the garbage. Yo, Everfree Northwest, what's up? Weirdo in the rainbow jerk.
Yo,
You guys maybe want to stop that for 5 minutes?
not really.
Wait for it! Now! Punch the wolf! Punch the wolf!
What does it look like I'm doing?
Wolf punch. You are the ultimate wolf puncher.
Yo, I'm going for the high score this time.
Aren't you supposed to be dead?
This isn't canon.
There you go, it's not canon. Anyway, it says we're supposed to keep this broadcast PG rated for this convention so every pony can enjoy it. Ugh, God, they actually wrote every pony. Yeah, so if anyone asks, my eyes are like this because I didn't get any sleep last night.
Warning, wolf explosion, wolf explosion.
No, I'm so close.
Yeah, you can't let the wolf die.
Would you like to play again?
Hey, will you guys turn it down? I'm trying to talk to the losers at this convention. So, okay, we'll play your game. We can be PG. We won't say swear words. There won't be any violence. And I promise, nothing scary will happen. Yo, Everfree. You alright?
Swag.
That took 17 months to make. JK. I don't know how much time we have left. I guess maybe now we can do some Q&A. Anybody have any questions? This is the boring part. I don't like this part as much. You over there? You?
Is that video we just saw going to be on YouTube or no?
Yeah, probably within a week.
Okay.
Okay. You and with the cat ears? Are you a cat? No. What are you?
I'm a wonderful.
I thought it was a Fish Sonic one a while back. Are you gonna do any of those?
No. I'm sorry. Did you like it?
It was funny.
I'm glad you liked it. He's so fast. Who else? Chili dogs.
Hi. We had a dumb question, which is, would you ever consider doing one of the
What? Why don't you make a joke about something like that?
Shout.
I can't believe you said that to me.
What did she say?
I don't even want to repeat it. Okay, so probably not.
Okay.
Who's next? You.
Who is best pony?
Best pony is Shetland because they and they can also lift the most weight out of all domestic horses. I'd say definitely Shetland. Who else? Who's next? You.
What was your favorite MOB to make?
To make, probably the first one because it was the easiest, because it was the shortest. My favorite one is Magic, the Twilight episode. I like your costume, by the way. I think even after the last one comes out, I think Magic is still going to be my favorite, but I think the last one's still going to be rad. So, hopefully that answers your question. You?
Who would win in a fight between Adam Android and R-Dash?
Why did you just say Adam Android to me? I'm not
12 anymore. Now I'm actually thinking about it. I'm gonna have to say Ardash, because Adam Android is just a ripoff of Astro Boy, and Astro Boy is very wimpy. I mean, I don't know, he's a fruit. You?
What are you going to do after the .MLB series?
I'm going to join the army. No, that's a joke. I don't know. It makes me sad to think about it, because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's lots of different things that I could try. I'm not exactly sure. I just want to keep making Flash cartoons because it's a medium that I've kind of gotten. I don't want to say I've gotten tired of it, but I think I've continued to. This is going to sound super pretentious. It's something that I feel like I've kind of explored to the point where it's boring to explore anymore. Hopefully that's not too pretentious.
Yes.
No.
I don't know. I have different ideas. I don't know which direction I'm going to go in. But, you know, we still have till like the end of this year to figure that out, because that's when it's probably going to wind up. Who's next? Anyone? You.
Where'd you get the idea for Appleox, the holy titan of honesty?
Does anybody know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
You guys all read Jabberlack?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't think anybody reads that. There's a part in Party.move where Spike says, Applejack's in a coma. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I wrote all of the episodes at once. I wrote them like within the span of 1 week, like last year. When I wrote that line, I realized it didn't make any sense because Applejack wasn't in a coma, as the people who follow the Tumblr would know. And then I thought, okay, if Spike is going to say this, I have to figure out a way to get Applejack back in another coma. So then I said, well, I'll come up with some kind of storyline, and I'll just kind of like write it as I'm going, and I'll just kind of have fun with it, and I'll make it like a really stupid, really dopey sci-fi story. And that's where that idea came from. So anyone who's reading Jabberlack and wants to know why it's all sad and emo now, that's why. You in the back. Yeah, you.
Why would you admit that?
Why would I admit what I just said?
Yeah.
No, it's true.
When's the last one coming out?
The last .move?
Rainbow Day.
Swag.move, my ETA is December, but I honestly don't know. I know that seems like a long time, but the deal with this next one is I'm gonna get like super ambitious with it. I'm doing a lot of shit that I haven't tried before. I'm sorry I said the SH word. It's also gonna be a lot longer than the other ones have been. Excuse me?
You get one.
Oh.
Everyone gets
If I had known, I would have saved it. Yeah. Next question? You.
What's your favorite line from your Pony.move videos?
I want to stick my dick in an anthill. Yeah, I love everything that Spike says because he's a fictional version of myself. Next question? Anyone? You.
I hear you're doing your $5 sketches. Where are you going to be tomorrow for that?
I'm right out there.
Okay.
I left early today because I had to get ready for this. I will be here tomorrow and also Sunday. Next question? You?
Have you ever considered doing music or like games?
I have been trying to learn guitar for probably about 10 years. I don't understand how anyone does it. It's so hard. That was a joke, but honestly it's true. I can't learn guitar. I really can't. I'm not so much into games. I don't think I would ever want to go down that road. But someday, maybe I would like to make music. Someday. So, I don't know. Anyone? Next? You, young lady?
How many characters do you voice in the MOV series?
I voice, first of all, I do Spike, and I also I do Pinky, but not in the first episode. I do Pinky, Spike, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Pinky, Spike, Applejack, Paco. Everyone's favorite character. I love Paco. I should have had a Paco sound-alike contest. I'll do that next time. I haven't slept in 2 days. Does anybody know? Who can tell me? Let's play a game. Who can tell me? Who do I do?
Do you do Rainbow Dash?
Yes, I do Rainbow Dash. Swarm. Who else? Yes, I do Fluttershy. I think that's it.
Rarity.
No, I don't do Rarity.
Who's Rarity?
No, not in the first episode. Never done Rarity.
The guy who beat up already, if you have guesses.
Yeah, I do that guy who doesn't have a name.
Robo Dash? Pinky's dad?
What was that?
I know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a very kind of muscular. I've seen it. Well, now it's just you and me having a conversation, and nobody knows what we're talking about.
Watch Cats Don't Dance.
Everybody watch Cats Don't Dance. Spoiler, they actually do. Yeah, those are the characters that I voice, I think. Other than like a few characters here or there. But I also get my friend Aaron Hansen, Kira Buckland, John Etheridge, Esther No. I think that's everyone who's been in the Move series. Bernard Duke does the voice of the narrator. I think his name is Bernard Duke in Party.move. I think that's it. Next question? Can we do next question? You have one? All right. What's up?
Which of the Mega 64 videos is your favorite?
I really like the one where the one with the guy, I forget, the guy from Nairobi.
Oh yeah.
Okay, nobody knows what we're talking about. You don't have one. You were just doing devil horns. Okay, nice devil horns.
Me again. Are you gonna have credits at the end of swag.mob?
Why wouldn't I?
Because you didn't have credits in the other videos, I don't think.
You didn't watch till the end. You gotta watch the credits.
All right.
Otherwise, how do you know who made the thing? Who's next? Anyone? You in the back.
What are your plans after the .mob series?
I was late! He doesn't know!
I've also been drinking.
What have you been drinking tonight?
Mostly wild turkey.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Whiskey.
I don't drink, I'm straight.
Turkey blood.
Except for when I do podcasts. You.
Revolucion.
I don't speak Tagalog.
Program you use to make your Flash cartoons?
Wow.
What is your name?
My name is Joshua Baker.
Oh god.
Good man.
Joshua Baker's all wet. Josh, come up here. Come up here again. Josh, come up here. Josh, come up here. Come on. Just to show you, no hard feelings. What do you like better, anime or classic horror? You get Dementia 13 by Francis Ford Coppola. Who's next? You. I'm not going to squirt anyone else.
So you said you wrote all the episodes of the MLP at the same time. So how did Rarity change so much between 1 and 2?
I didn't write the first one with the other 4. I wrote the first one, then I decided to make more, and then I wrote, not the other 4, the other 5. But the reason Rarity changed, the reason she got all fat, is because the joke wouldn't have worked if she was skinny. Hopefully that answers your question. Anyone else? Anyone? You?
You said Aaron Hansen played someone. Who was he?
He does Pinkie Pie and Rarity in the first episode. After that, he only does Rarity, and I do Pinkie Pie. But he will be reprising his role as Rarity in the next episode, in the final installment. Who's next? You?
In Party.move, on Pinkie Pie's bottle, somebody ended up translating the apple speak on the bottom of the bottle. Are you going to go anywhere with that, or is that a spoiler for later on?
Do you really think I'll just tell you?
Maybe.
Like, why would you bother to ask? If I tell you, then the whole thing is ruined.
Because going to another panel and asking that would just make me look like a jackass.
Right, but you asking here kind of does the same thing. No, you're not a jackass. It is going to go somewhere, but for now, you just gotta have to use your imagination to wonder where. You?
How did you learn how to do all this stuff?
I've been doing it ever since I was little. What are you doing? You can't be bothered to pay attention when you're sitting right next to me? What's your line? You've lost it. What is your question again? How did I learn?
Yeah.
Animation specifically. I've been doing it ever since I was little. Like, I first got Flash, I think, when I was like 10. And I didn't get into it with the intention to learn how to do anything. I got into it with the intention of, I'm going to make stuff that I want to make. And you learn by making. And I never stopped making cartoons. And, you know, a lot of people will tell me that the stuff they make is really lousy and they're not happy with their stuff. But I was like right there where they were at that point. Like, if you could see the stuff that I made when I started, it was probably way worse than anything you've ever seen. Really. But I guess the difference between me and somebody who's not good at it is that I didn't quit doing it. Sufficient answer?
Okay.
Yeah. You?
So you say you got Flash when you were 10. I assume you paid for it legally with $200.
You know what happens when you assume. An ass out of you and me. I pay for everything now. I didn't download them illegally ever. I received them as a gift from somebody who downloaded them illegally. But now that I make a small amount of money off of what I do, it's a tax write-off anyway. So I'll shell out for anything now. And I think I should say to everyone, you should not pirate, because it's bad. I'm serious. Who's next? You?
You did an interview recently with, was it Everfree Radio? It was an hour long.
Which one?
It was recent, this month.
Was I pretending to be Charles Manson?
Yeah.
That was the Brownie Show.
Oh yeah.
I was actually curious if you prepared for that or if you prepared for it.
I watched a lot of Charles Manson videos. Is anybody recording this? You are? Okay. Hello, Internet. You're gonna put this on YouTube? Yeah? Sure, so you didn't plan to? Well, I would like it if you could. I did that interview with The Brony Show, and the guy from The Brony Show was not happy with me. So if you're listening, Mr. Brony Man, I didn't mean to offend you. I just have to always be funny. Even if it's not funny. Because I'm never funny. I always have to try. Yeah, so I bear no ill will towards those people who work at that radio station, but I thought, for me to do a whole interview in character as Charles Manson was an idea that was making me laugh and was making friends of mine laugh, so I had to do it. And just for the record, I don't idolize Charles Manson, even though he's innocent.
Small wheelbarrow full of $5 bills you'll have after this convention.
What do you think I should do with it?
Put it in a big pool.
Give it back to
Is it true you guys have to pay for autographs from the voice actors?
Yes.
That's BS. 20 bucks? Well, my autographs are always free. That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be judging anybody, but I wouldn't pay that for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like make a living off of my work, so every little bit helps. So I'm thankful to anyone who gave me $5 for one of my sketches.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You.
Will you do a signing after this?
After this?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. If anyone wants to come up, I can do a signing. Woo! A what? Dude, don't be gross. How do you know it's not just the hair? Your pubes are that long?
I didn't know that.
This is when beat-ups start. You and the cat ears. I'm gonna say you're a cat, and you are a cat. No, you're a cat.
Were you thinking about maybe having a side character as a main show thing, like Princess Celestia and Luna?
He died.
Okay. Why is I don't want anybody to hold anything I say here against me, but literally in the last week, I've had an idea for a episode about Derpy, but it's just like a scrap of an idea. So if I were to turn it into a actual episode, I would have to kind of form more ideas together with it to make it a fully fledged idea. And I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I might, maybe, you never know. There might be derpy.move or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen, if it do not happen, please don't be mad. You.
What was your original inspiration for the series? Like, what were you doing and you just like, hey, I want to make a MLP parody?
That's kind of hard to say because the subsequent 5 episodes were very much inspired by the first episode, and they were. This is when it gets pretentious again. This is when it gets really pretentious. They were inspired by the first episode, and they were inspired by the thought of what if I had a story arc go through all 5 of them, and then the last one is the climax. And I like that idea. I like the idea that each one kind of told a little more of the story, but also was its own self-contained story. But in terms of how the first one was thought up, it just, I don't really remember. It was almost it was almost a year ago. I mean, that pony just eats so many apples. Why does she like apples so much? I don't know why that pony eats so many apples. I mean, does she work on that farm but she doesn't like apples, or does she actually eat them like morning, noon, and night? Does anybody know? I don't know what anyone just said. I don't know. I don't remember how I came up with the first one. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a question I can't answer. I don't know. I probably stole the idea from someone else. I see 3 guys with their hands up. Let's go from front to back. So in the front first.
Why did you? How did you become a brony?
Who says I'm a brony? I've been more insulted in my life. I've said this. I said this at the panel that I did before this one, and I've said this a million times on the internet. And I feel like I'll probably just keep on saying it as long as people ask me. I don't know if I'm a brony or not. I like the show, I watch it, I've seen all the episodes, but it all comes down to how you define that word, and it's a word that everybody seems to be defining differently, so I don't know. As one person said to me, which I thought was an interesting argument, brony is to My Little Pony as weeaboo is to anime. Really? So you guys are all weeaboos. But for a little girl's cartoon. So that's twice as bad.
What were your weeaboos?
Yes, you are my weeaboos. Alright? So I don't know. I mean, I don't feel that the people who watch the show should be picked on because I'm into weird stuff, and it bugs me when people bully the bronies, but you know, if you want to define it as a brony is a person who likes My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, then I guess I am one. But otherwise, I don't know, because I do like the show, but I'm not like super into this whole fandom thing. And I mean, I love all of you guys, and I think it's great that you like my cartoons, but I think maybe the reason that I make fun of it isn't necessarily because I make fun of things that I don't like, or I make fun of things that I like, but rather I make fun of things that I find I can make fun of, and it's really just that simple. Easy, I mean, not even an easy target, but more like just whatever I find humor in. And I find humor in very stupid things. The guy who's behind that guy, and then we'll go behind that guy. Yeah, you?
Have you seen the TV tropes page for Pony.mob?
There's a TV trope?
There is.
I've seen the Know Your Mame page. I didn't know there was a TV tropes. What is the trope?
It's a page about the series. tvtropes.org and then search Pony.mob.
So do they say it's good or bad?
It's I don't know, it's like an article about it, with listing all the tropes used in it. It's
Is
cool.
it a positive article?
It's usually read by people. Neutral. Probably. It's an encyclopedia.
Well, I guess I'm as famous as Tom Cruise now. I haven't seen that, I'll look that up later. You?
Who's your favorite side or minor character of the Pony.mob series?
I don't even know if he's a minor character, but I think Paco is great. Paco's coming back, don't worry, we'll see more of Paco. Paco and the Broken Social Cozy will both be back. I guess maybe because he's never had a full episode, Spike, but Spike is just my favorite character overall. Or my iteration of him, or whatever you want to call him. You?
Sort of 2 questions in one, sort of. Do you still have any of your old Flash stuff? And if you do you ever plan on releasing it to show people, or are you going to keep it in secret?
I've really thought about doing that. Oh my god, it would be so embarrassing. Lots of fan animated episodes of Invader Zim. Horribly drawn. I think I was drawing them with my left hand. I don't know why. It might be fun one day to just compile them all into one massive file and then dump it, not on my main page because I would get so many unsubscribes. But I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm very bored. You? I'm pointing at you, but you can't see that I am. Yep, you.
Of your previous work, not counting the Invaders in episodes, what is the most embarrassing thing you've made?
Most embarrassing. Everything. That's the thing. You can ask any, I don't even know if I can call myself an artist, but any person who does anything creative at all, if they like any of their old stuff, and they will always say no, because you continue to get better and get better at this, get better at that, get better at writing, drawing, acting, animating. And as you continue to improve, you look back at your old stuff and you more and more realize that it was not very good. And I'm sure that probably never, and I wish I could take it all down so you can never see it again. But I won't, because I know you guys like watching it. You?
Yeah, so I see that like Spike's your favorite character and all that. I guess he's mine too. Actually, it influenced me enough to make a PMV out of it. I made a green and purple smoke weed every day, kind of like PMV based off of his.
You made that?
You made that?
I love that video.
Yeah, inspired by you, and thanks for favoriting it, because I got a bunch of jerk-offs Friday. Hotdiggedydemon sent me here. And oh, okay, you liked it.
Yeah, I love that video.
Thanks.
Do you have a question?
No, it's just really saying thanks for making a cool series. That,
Everyone watch that video.
yeah.
It's a PMV.
You.
Which of your works are you least proud of?
I just got that question. Where is my phone? Why is it on the ground? Oh my god, you guys. I just need to look at the time real quick. Okay, 11:10. Might want to wrap this up soon. I don't want to go too long. You.
Are more women gonna die?
There's always more blood to be shed. I think there might be some sort of happy ending, but only through justice is there peace, and only through force is there justice. So usually there's going to be a lot of violence. I don't condone the glorification of violence, but what has to be done has to be done. You in the back.
How much longer are you going to write Japalak?
Japalak is going to go, I know how it's going to end. It's going to end in a cliffhanger, and then Japalak and the Dot Move series are going to share a single conclusion. And then afterwards, there's going to be an epilogue on Japalak, or as I call it, an apple-log. That's funny. You like it, right? You like it, right?
Correct, sir.
You are correct, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there. I'm trying to do it once a week, but it's becoming more and more of a pain in my butt because I keep on getting more labored with the art, even though it's nothing amazing, but I keep spending more and more time on it. At first, when it was just like a single panel thing, I would kind of just scribble it out in 20 minutes, but now it takes me all day whenever I want to do an update, and that kind of bugs me. But, I mean, some stuff still needs to happen before it's done. So maybe a few more months of that. And then there might be a gap between that and when the final Dot Move comes out. Okay, who's next? Anyone? You?
How do you get through bouts of being either really burnt out or just working on one project for really long?
I take what I call a staycation. Anyone here a fan of staycations? Yeah. I'm so lazy. I really am. I could probably be done by now if I wasn't so lazy. And what especially bugs me about it is and this is going to sound whiny, but it's incredibly lonely work because it's just me at my computer all day long for hours and hours and hours. I know, it sucks. I need to be a wise guy. Sometimes I really do wish I had a job where I could, even just go to an office every day. I know it would suck because it would be just kind of very mundane, but I think I would enjoy the atmosphere of just being around so many other people.
They're all idiots, trust me.
I know, but I like idiots. You made the joke, not me. You know, I don't know. I get burnt out. It seems to me like the most time where I procrastinate is when I have something ahead of me that's very daunting or I don't know how to tackle it. Which is why I haven't even started Swag Numbers yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So far I've done storyboards and I've sent out storyboards to the actors who are going to be in it. I haven't recorded any of the dialogue that I have to do. I haven't animated anything. But the storyboards took a while. Okay, I'm starting to sound like an asshole. Who's next? Anyone? You in the way back. Yeah. Can someone relay to me what he said? I find, like, in terms of like writing, like when I write.
Just general working, working with an MLB.
I mean, I guess in terms of when I don't really get blocked when I'm animating, but when I'm writing, sometimes I won't be able to really think of something. It seems to me like creativity is something that you can't control. You can only utilize it when it comes to you because it kind of comes in waves. Oh my God, I sound so gay. Dude, you turned me gay. Yeah. I mean, so when one of those waves come, when one of the waves comes, you have to take advantage of it at that moment. Settle down, you guys. I'm trying to be an adult. You have to take advantage of it and work like crazy because you don't know when it's going to leave you. That's the best advice I can give. You.
Were there any animators or early TV shows that inspired you to start animating?
None. JK Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I can see that.
No, I actually don't think I liked Ren and Stimpy until I was an adult. When I was a kid, I mean, when it first premiered, I was like 2. But then when I watched it as an adult, I was like, this show is rad. And the reason that the Dot Move series looks like Ren and Stimpy is because I try to pick a different style for each project, so I can come up with one that I feel like it complements the project the best. And I think I was just watching a lot of Ren and Stimpy at the time, but I don't know. I think it works out kind of okay, or well enough. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Glad that you like it. Anyone else? You?
Coming back to your loneliness issues, 1 to 5 cats to help you cope with things.
What?
Consider getting cats. I hear they're helpful.
Cats.
He wants you to become a crazy cat person.
He's just making fun of you.
No, I don't have any cats. I have a parrot and I hate it. He bites. He's an asshole. Don't get a parrot. They're so violent. And they like take out huge chunks of skin. They have like a lobster claw on their face. I'm serious, you guys. Don't get a parrot. I'm not stressed that enough. He says one word. Hello. When I was in middle school, for my birthday one year, I told my parents I wanted a parakeet. My dad told me that if we got a pet bird, it had to be an African gray parrot because they hold the record for being able to learn the most words. My bird can only say hello. Doesn't say it very well. And it's also the single most violent and temperamental breed. Do not get a parrot, especially do not get an African gray. I want to murder him. I fantasized about opening the window and letting him out. Not joking. Don't get a bird. Okay, who's next? Anyone else? You? Yeah, you.
How
go ahead.
old are you?
How old?
Yeah.
I'm 24. So old. You?
Yeah. Do you do any other voices for other series or like other people's animations or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Do you want to? Like, do you feel like you're a voice actor also? As well?
I feel like I've gotten a little bit better over the years. I don't really consider myself an actor that much. I think that the reason that I act so much in my own cartoons is because I'm a lousy director. And if I act in my own cartoons, I don't have to direct anybody. I have Aaron Hansen a lot in my cartoons, and he's great because he has this amazing talent, and I've said this before about him, where he can read a script or look at a storyboard and infer perfectly how the lines are supposed to be read. He's so good at that, and that's what makes him a dream to work with. Some actors are a little trickier, and whenever an actor isn't quite getting it right, I always feel like it's because I'm doing a lousy job of telling them what they're supposed to be doing. So that's why I do a lot of voices myself. And I think I've been in like a few cartoons here or there, but mostly they've just been by friends of mine.
Thanks.
You?
How close are you to Yotam Peril?
How close?
Yeah.
I hate his guts. Anyone here listen to Weisenheimer's?
Woo! Yep.
Damn, that show's a joke. No, I love Yotam. He's a good friend. We don't really talk. No, we've been talking less and less. I think he's a great guy. I think we do, like speaking of which, I've done voices for him. I think maybe we'll do a few things here and there still. Mostly just like cartoons. Like little shorts. Like the Pizza Vampire thing. God, I love Pizza Vampire. Anyone else? You?
Where did you get the idea for the decorative toaster posing?
I don't know if I've said this one before or not. When I started to make episodes about subsequent characters, a lot of people were very vocal about wanting Derpy in the cartoon series, and I didn't really care because she's not really a character on the show. She's only in the background. And enough people were demanding it that I said, okay, fine, but she's dead. Sorry. Who's next? You?
So you had a fan penetrate you in front of an audience, and then you're worried about sounding gay. And on that note, how do you manage to toe the line between crude humor and humor that's crude enough that it's making fun of crude humor? Or are you even doing that?
I don't know that there's a difference.
Crude humor and cupcakes.
I think that one of the smartest shows in the history of television is South Park.
Yeah.
I really do. And that show also has a lot of really immature jokes at the same time. I don't know how they do it. Just like toilet humor. I'm not in, I'm into certain toilet humor, but not others. Like, I think throwing up is funny. I could watch cartoon characters throw up all day long. I could watch humans throw up all day long. It's so entertaining to me. I love watching humans puke. I don't know, I try to kind of balance, because I get off on very, not necessarily humor that you would call witty, but stuff that you maybe have to think about a tiny, tiny bit, like, once again, we're going into pretentious territory. Like in Magic.move where Spike says, I've heard of shock humor, but this is ridiculous. I love that joke. Because it's so dumb that it's smart. I don't know, I like a lot of different kinds of humor. I like puns. I like stuff that's based on mannerisms and different kinds of idiosyncrasies that characters can have and ways that characters interact. So it's kind of hard for me to tell. Who's next? You?
So, back on the topic of you being gay, who does your nails?
I do it myself. Do you like them? But that's not gay, that's because I'm metal. I'm a bad boy. You?
What's up with all the menstrual blood?
This goes back to the toilet humor thing again. I think periods are hilarious. I don't understand why nobody is making fun of them. And furthermore, and this is when I sound like an observational comedian, I don't understand why we all just pretend that menstruation is normal. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. If you bleed for 5 days, that doesn't make any sense. How do you do that? And you have to wear these diapers around that go inside your underwear?
Inside of you?
And then those things, I don't get it. It's weird. And we're all just pretending that it's normal. Ugh. I've heard it's the blood of unborn babies. I don't know if that's true or not. But that would be a little too dark. Yeah. Now I just don't even know what I'm doing with my life anymore. But I don't understand why that is a whole thing that just goes unspoken when it's so bizarre. And we should be making fun of it as much as possible. Okay, you in the way back.
I know you said you don't know, but do you know who lives in the planet Unlimited Sea?
SpongeBob. What do you mean? Why would I say I don't know?
Sorry, I had something else that I was going to say there, and I completely lost it as I was saying it.
You lost it? You forgot what it was? Can you, if you remember it, can you put your hand back up? Because now I'm curious. Okay. You.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Earlier you were talking about voice direction and stuff like that. I was wondering how well you work with Rena-chan, Kira Buckland. Like, does she read the script well and understand it, or do you have to give her direction?
Yeah, she requires a little more direction. I hate saying that because it makes me sound like an asshole. But she's great too. The way my MO is I give people storyboards instead of scripts. Because I think it helps them a little more if they can see the characters' faces, so they can see the expressions that they're making and infer how they're supposed to feel when they're saying something. And I think it helps to help people understand how certain jokes are supposed to be delivered and stuff like that. So I'll draw up storyboards, I'll send them out, and they'll send me lines for free, which is very nice of them. And I'll say, okay, these ones are good. Can you do these ones over again? And maybe put a little more emphasis on this word or a little less emphasis on this word. Sometimes I'll give them line readings, which is when I perform the line and send it to them and they use it as example. I think that's considered rude though, so I try not to do it that much. I don't know why it's considered rude. I think it's like in bad taste amongst actors that they don't like to have their lines spoken by example. But basically that's my MO. Anyone else? You with the rock?
Going back to the loneliness.
You can put that down.
Going back to the loneliness issue, would you ever consider like live streaming?
I do it once in a great while, but the problem with that is if I'm working on something if I'm live streaming while I'm working on something, it gives away all kinds of spoilers. You know what I mean? You?
Do you plan on?
Awkward. Yeah, I was pointing to him. I'll get you next.
Would you ever want to work with the South Park guys?
No. I mean, I don't know what I could possibly add to them. They're guys that have mastered their craft. I mean, I guess the answer is yes, but I feel like I would feel so inferior I wouldn't be able to do it. They're adults and I'm a child. Yeah, you?
Are you going to work with Mega 64 again at some point?
I would love to. They are so great. Any Mega 64 fans? Probably not a lot of you. They're great. I think they hate my guts. JK. I'm gonna meet them this fall. I think I'm gonna be on their podcast if they'll have me, because I'm gonna be around that area, and I am going to see if I can weasel my way into their podcast. So look forward to that.
Do it.
Because of the bandwidth crisis, which some of you might be familiar with, I did offer to make another cartoon for them, but they haven't taken me up on it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. You?
Yeah. What are some of your favorite shows or movies?
I actually think Fat Albert is a really horrible show. I love Bill Cosby. He's like my favorite comedian. But that show, I think it's a show for like really little kids, because it's just all like educational garbage. But his stand-up bits about Fat Albert are hilarious. That's what Fluttershy is based off of, not the cartoon. I don't remember what your question was, but I choose not to answer it. Next. Next. You.
Alright, you keep talking about Aaron and how cool he is and stuff like that. Why is he suddenly too cool to finish, the rarity thing?
Who says he's too cool for that?
Well, you said he was being reprised, and he's like...
Do you know what the word reprised means?
I'm taking it. I don't know. What are you, a dictionary?
I don't know what the word reprised means. It means he's coming back.
Oh, I thought reprise was like, they did it differently.
We all have our blind spots. No, we really do. I've made a fool out of myself in front of a large group of people too.
I did my best.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I think you know what? Come up here. Come up here. I got a present for you. Just for you. What? Do you sound like Ray Romano?
Do I?
No, he doesn't. Say something that Ray Romano would say.
What would Ray Romano say?
Deborah, you're such a bitch. Deborah, you're such a bitch.
You get FLCL, the complete series. Okay, anyone else? I'll take 3 more. I want to wrap this up before you guys get bored.
I think this is my last question.
Yeah? How many have you asked?
Well, actually, it's not a question, but wouldn't it be cool if you gave voices to the Japalak comic without animating it? Like just radio play sort of thing.
Would it be cool if I did that?
Yeah.
I guess. Not gonna. It would be a lot of work. I've seen one girl did like a fan dub of one of my comics, of one strip of Japalak. If someone else did the rest, that would be awesome and I would love it, but I'm not gonna hold anyone down and force them to. I don't know, it's not really on my list of things to do, unfortunately. Yeah.
When you're done with the .MLB series, do you have anything in mind that you're working on?
That's already been asked twice, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, okay, well, that one won't count, so we'll still do 2 more. You?
Well, since you do a bunch of the voices for the videos, can you do a couple of them now?
What do you want to hear?
Yeah.
Paco.
Looks like hard times ahead for Paco. A lot of the characters are digitally augmented a little bit. Like Paco is pitched up, so if that didn't sound exactly like him.
How about Spike?
Where have you been? I don't like wise guys. Pinkie Pie? What is something that she says?
I think she's I'm getting my period.
I think I'm getting my period. What does Rainbow Dash say? Swag. So I try to augment them a little bit so it doesn't sound like one person doing all the voices. Anyone else you want to hear? Japalak. Japalak is pitched up a lot. So I don't know if I can sound anything like her.
Do a country
but
voice.
She's like, "Fuck you! I can't eat all these apples." I know I'm not supposed to swear, but nobody cares. This is okay, one more question, and then we're done.
And strong.
You.
That'd be good.
On the Jack Black note, what made you decide to make a pony one?
Oh.
Because a lot of people were doing it, but I thought that they weren't doing it very well. I wanted to show them how it's done.
And thank you for plugging my blog.
Yeah, no problem. Everyone check out her blog. She does, what do you do? Explain it.
I'm dumb online in this class.
Yeah. She's Fluttershy IRL on Tumblr.
Ask IRL Fluttershy.
Ask IRL Fluttershy. I think that's it. So everyone, thank you for coming to my dumb panel. What was your? Everybody give it up for Scary Gary.